and it was only after Pao Yi and the rest of the party had entered and closed the gate behind them that she at last issued from her retreat. Then, fixing her gaze steadfastly on the gateway, she dropped a few tears, but inwardly conscious of their utter futility, she retraced her footsteps and wended her way back into her apartment. And with heavy heart and despondent spirits, she divested herself of the remainder of her habiliments. Su Chun and Suyen were well aware from the experience they had reaped in past days that Lin Daiyu was, in the absence of anything to occupy her mind, prone to sit and mope, and that if she did not frown her eyebrows, she anyway heaved deep sighs. But they were quite at a loss to divine why she was, with no rhyme or reason, ever so ready to indulge, to herself, in inexhaustible gushes of tears. At first, there were such as still endeavored to afford her solace, or who, suspecting lest she brooded over the memory of her father and mother, felt homesick, or aggrieved through some offense given her, tried by every persuasion to console and cheer her. But, as contrary to all expectations, she subsequently persisted time and again in this dull mood. Through each succeeding month and year, people got accustomed to her eccentricities and did not extend to her the least sympathy. Hence, it was that no one, on this occasion, troubled her mind about her, but letting her sit and sulk to her heart's content, they one and all turned in and went to sleep. Lin Daiyu leaned against the railing of the bed, clasping her knees with both hands, her eyes suffused with tears. She looked, in very truth, like a carved wooden image or one fashioned of mud. There she sat straight up to the second watch, even later, when she eventually fell asleep. The whole night, nothing remarkable transpired. The morrow was the 26th day of the 4th moon. Indeed, on this day, at 1 p.m., commenced the season of the sprouting seeds. In accordance to an old custom, on the day on which this feast of sprouting seeds fell, everyone had to lay all kinds of offerings and sacrificial viands on the altar of the god of flowers. Soon after the expiry of this season of sprouting seeds follows summertime. And as plants in general then wither and the god of flowers resigns his throne, it is compulsory to feast him at some entertainment previous to his departure. In the ladies' apartments, this custom was observed with still more rigor. And for this reason, the various inmates of the park of Broad Vista had, without a single exception, got up at an early hour of the morning. The young people either twisted flowers and willow twigs in such a way as to represent chairs and horses, or made tufted banners with damask, brocaded gauze, and silk, and bound them with variegated threads. These articles of decoration were alike attached on every tree and plant, and throughout the whole expanse of the park, embroidered sashes waved to and fro, and ornamented branches nodded their heads about. In addition to this, the members of the family were clad in such fineries that they put the peach tree to shame, made the almond yield the palm, the swallow envious, and the hawk to blush. We could not therefore exhaustively describe them within our limited space of time. Pao Chai, Ying Chuan, Tan Chuan, He Chuan, Li Wan, Lady Feng, and other girls, as well as Da Dia, Si Yang, and the waiting maids, were all, one and all, we will now notice, in the garden enjoying themselves. The only person who could not be seen was Lin Daiyu. So, consequently, inquired Ying Chuan, how is it that I don't see Cousin Liu? What a lazy girl! Is she forsooth fast asleep even at this late hour of the day? Wait all of you here, and I'll go and shake her up and bring her. With these words, she speedily left her companions and repaired straight away to the Cao Xing Lodge. While she was going on her errand, she met Wink Wan and the rest of the girls on their way to seek them. Drawing near, they inquired after her health. After exchanging a few commonplace remarks, Pao Chai turned around and pointing, said, "You will find them all in there. You had better go and join them. As for me, I'm going to fetch Miss Lin Tai Yu, but I'll be back shortly." Saying this, she followed the winding path and came to the Cao Xing Lodge. Upon suddenly raising her eyes, she saw Pao Yi walk in. Pao Chai immediately halted, and lowering her head, she gave way to meditation for a time. She reflected, Pao Yi and Lin Tai Yu have grown up together from their very infancy, but cousins, though they be, there are many instances in which they cannot evade suspicion, for they joke without heeding propriety, and at one time they are friends, and at another at daggers drawn. Tai Yu has, moreover, always been full of envy, and has ever displayed a peevish disposition. So were I to follow him in at this juncture, why, Pao Yi would, in the first place, not feel at ease, and in the second, Tai Yu would give way to jealousy. Better, therefore, for me to turn back. At the close of this train of thought, she retraced her footsteps, but just as she was starting to join her other cousins, she unexpectedly disguised ahead of her a pair of jade-colored butterflies, the size of a circular fan. Now they soared high, now they made a swoop down in their flight against the breeze. Much to her amusement, Pao Chai felt a wish to catch them for mere fun's sake. So, producing a fan from inside her sleeve, she descended onto the turfed ground to flap them with it. The two butterflies suddenly were seen to rise, suddenly to drop, sometimes to come, at others to go. Just as they were on the point of flying across the stream to the other side, the enticement proved too much for Pao Chai, and she pursued them on tiptoe straight up to the Tidesui pavilion nestling on the bank of the pond, while fragrant sweat dripped drop by drop and her sweet breath panted gently.